Welcome back, welcome back to the channel, guys. Welcome back. So, welcome to the channel. If you're new to the channel, my name is V. Um, you've been divinely guided by Holy Spirit here to obtain a little piece of the information or a little piece of the puzzle that you need in order to connect the dots somehow. To fill in something that's missing, maybe you've been actually asking the Holy Spirit for, oh, I'm about to talk in tongues already. Come on through, Holy Spirit. So you are being divinely guided and connected here in order to obtain a little piece of the puzzle so that you can give a piece here. They connect when you get something from or some piece from the video, so or videos that I post here. So welcome. I see all my new subscribers, so welcome, guys. Welcome. Keep it coming. I know I never say it, so like, share, and subscribe. Share it with friends and so forth if you find the information and content here to be useful. It does help. It helps the algorithms. It helps to push out more video content like this to people that need it as well. So welcome. And then to my OGs, give me my hug, fam. I need it. So now, I did not want to put this video out. I just saw an angel. That's even my confirmation. Did not want to put this video out. Y'all, I need a chaser at this point. You know, like I said, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do nothing. So, and this stuff is hard. This is raw, hard truth. And I do not know exactly or precisely what the video is going to be named. I just need to get it out because I'm starting to see other people putting stuff out about it too. And literally, I was like, Lord, I need grace on this one because this is rough. This is rough. I'm not gonna lie. So where did I even begin, Holy Spirit? I'm just gonna flow in the Holy Spirit and based on what He's given me so far, which I'm pretty sure I'm still within the grace period to put this out, but it was rough to even. I saw another angel. That's another confirmation. It's rough to even have to say this. So He's saying start with this. This is key, y'all. Cut ties. I mean, we done said it so many times. Cut ties, burn ties, block. Don't anticipate that these people are not in your family. They are. Don't anticipate that these are not your friends. They are. Don't anticipate that these people have loyalty to you more than they have to their altars. They don't. Straight up, they don't. And I know that's a hard, blunt truth to take, but it is the hard, blunt truth. And this is going to be some hard, blunt truth. And anybody that knows on this channel, that has subscribed to this channel, knows anything about me, I'm hard, blunt truth. Straight up. So if you looked in the dictionary definition of blunt, my whole family agrees. It's just, it is what it is. And not only that, I literally, it's God first. It's going to be God first. GodFirst.com. Not family first. Everybody knows that. So God's first, period. And that's the position that He should be in. So, and we have a tendency to put people in positions above Him, and thank you, Holy Spirit, influences above Him, which should not. And we're busting those altars down like Gideon. So it is what it is, and we're gonna keep it moving. So I'm gonna get into this. So I need to say it as I was saying it before. Cut ties. Right now, isolate with the Holy Spirit. You don't need, like, if you ever seen the movie Hitch, where they's dancing and he's trying to show him how to dance, and he's dancing. He was like, you don't need no drinks. They got drinks at the party. You don't need to make no bread. They got food. We in that position right now. You don't need no socialization. You need to socialize with God alone. Period. End of sentence. No, it's too dangerous right now. I'm gonna be honest with you. Develop your relationship with the Holy Spirit right now. And when he's giving you like a slight in the spirit, pull all the way back, because Daddy ain't gonna lie. He's not going to lie. This is gonna be a long video, so I'm gonna get into it, and it's very key right now. This video is gonna get into it. So far, but I don't know the entire title. It's called Spiritual Human Parasites and Satanic Network. And this is about eaters of flesh and drinkers of blood. This came through probably about 3 days ago, and literally, I done needed some blues music. it's rough. I'm not even gonna lie, but it's the truth, and this is a part of the exposure, and it has to come out so that you understand. This is linked in a series at this point. These things are going to connect. I'm going to suggest that if this video is useful, go back. I'll try to link them today. I'm probably not gonna get a chance to today. Some other relevant videos. Blood altars and government would be a key one. Spiritual executioners would be another one down here that I would suggest that you watch if you find this to be useful. This is eaters of flesh and drinkers of blood. Is a part of this. Okay, so eaters of flesh and drinkers of blood. I'm gonna say what it is. These are satanic networks that we're dealing with, and they got plugs, is what I'm hearing the Holy Spirit say. And you're not in the plug system, but they plugged you in the system by way of satanic sacrifice. Come through, Holy Spirit. I'm gonna leave this here. This is even hard to say. Particularly for my women, I have to be careful with YouTube's algorithms. When you have your monthly, if you're noticing things right now, it's because they're eaters of flesh and drinkers of blood. If you've ever wondered why in certain professions, out of the blue, they'll ask you, like you could be going to an optometrist and they'll ask you when was the last time you had your dates, we'll put that. They don't need that for your eyes. They're indicating certain things to you, and I need you to pay attention. That may seem irrelevant. I'm putting it, but it was up front here. I'm also going to put a link down here as well. It may seem irrelevant. It won't go forward, trust me. I'm just putting that up front. Now let's get into it. So what Holy Spirit started to show me was, he said, evil soul exchangers and end of life professions. So he was showing me how they're evil soul exchangers, and how, like we previously said, the enemy chooses his excuse me guys, my nose is itching like crazy. Oh god, I should scratch the inside of my nose. Woo. How he chooses his key point men is what the Holy Spirit saying, and puts them in end of life professions. And then he started going down them a little bit more too. Now he does it, he's not giving me the complete list, but he's going to give enough for you to get the understanding, because I'm sure there's a lot. So convalescent centers, mortuaries, funeral homes, hospitals, EMT, police, especially accidents. He said violent crimes units, cover-ups and exchanges is what I heard the Holy Spirit say. Surgeons, some of these slips surgically are not slips. Military, he did went over again what he said previously in the blood altars, multiple entry points. Because thank you, Holy Spirit. Now he's bringing it to me now. So the reason why military is multiple entry points is because when you go into the military, there's multiple professions, and the multiple professions can go into multiple entry points depending on what they studied in the military. So let's just say you're an electrician. Let's just say you're a doctor. Well, then and if you're operating on the enemy side, then you literally go into not only the military as your, thank you, Holy Spirit, I heard that, you're double agent. You go from military to regular profession as a double agent. So you can literally transition from, what is it, Holy Spirit? From military life, and then after you retire from military, you go into civilian professions, is what he's saying, and you're a double agent because you literally have gone into two sectors, is what he's saying. So that's why he said multiple entry points. Come through, Holy Spirit. Okay, cancer centers. He said in particular children's cancer centers because they are looking for innocent, pure souls. He said eaters of flesh and drinkers of blood are in that particular case. He said sin covering when the sins are many, an innocent lamb sacrifice is needed. And unfortunately, guys, like I said, this is hard. I have to say it. I mean, I've been sitting with it. I know it's going to be hard, but I have to say what it has to say because it's too key right now. My nose is itching like crazy, y'all. I'm so serious. Golly. So, the innocent lamb sacrifice is, in a lot of cases, children. There's multiple things involving that. Angel Studios put out a video about it too, but there's multiple things. That's It just is what it is, y'all. I feel the same way, and I want to cry, but I just have to put it out. He said Department of Human Resources, Government, Child Protective Services. He said hoteling of children leading into human trafficking through hotels when they go missing is another one of them. I bind you by the blood of the Lamb. I saw something, guys. I bind you right now. Oh, those are my demonic guards outside. They're trying to bind up the house as I do this. Welcome to my life. So, hoteling of children leading into human trafficking through hotels when they go missing. They're not going missing. And if you see the underground tunnels and stuff like that, we're getting into that in this video too, and a portion of it. It's going to connect some dots for you guys as well, which is also a portion of, if you remember, I think it was the first one to put out about the subway units in New York, and now other prophets have put out about it. So this is leading into this as well. So those are underground tunnels in the hotels, and people on TikTok and things like that have done different videos on that. I suggest you look into those. It's going to be a long video. That's why I'm talking fast, guys, so apologize for that. He said prison systems, the harnessing of evil spirits and transferring and trafficking of human souls, both innocent and guilty. And I didn't understand what he meant, and then he broke it down. We'll get into that as well. So he says these serve as points of contacts like on a spider web. So if you remember in satanic entanglements, it was a spider web holding up certain things, and he's bringing that more to light. So the spider web, if you look at the spider web, it's like circles and then lines. The entry points are the circles and the lines are the connecting dots. So when he's talking about entry points, he's talking about the circles, and then the lines connect. Lines connect. Okay. The intersecting connecting points, he said entry and exit points of souls and soul exchanges. So these entry points are just that. Entry points and exit points of souls and souls exchanges. Tie that into some of the things that I'm not listing all of them, but some of the professions that they go into and the reasons why they go into those professions are to exchange souls for things. You have direct access. There's no other way to, thank you, Holy Spirit, that's he's adding. You have direct, they have direct access is what he's saying. And by having direct access, oh, he said also, what's the appropriate name for it, God? Mental health facilities where they house people. He said that's another one. Simply because they have direct access to control things. And again, it's the same thing. He said entry point and exit points of souls and soul exchanges. Keep that in mind as I go forward, guys. He said evil dedicated altars. Now, this is new to me, and it was obvious but not new, and it's something that needs to be brought to the attention of the body so that they're aware on this end, which is also what's going on outside my house right now. So he said evil dedicated altars. He showed me in each of these connecting points that there are evil dedicated altars. I did not understand, so he used my eyes to show me what he was talking about. Oh gosh, my nose is itching like crazy, guys. Gee whiz, I just want to take a toothbrush and scrub it. And that's the Holy Spirit, guys, for people that don't know. It's like I just want to, and my nose is getting red. Oh, it's like literally like feathers for tickling my nose. Okay, so he showed me, he saw my eyes and he showed me a hospital bed. So in this room, okay, showing me more now. So in this room, okay, so explain. He said evil altars are set up everywhere. He said, unbeknownst to my children, come through, Holy Spirit. He said, it's more than what you think. Okay, so what he did is he took my eyes and he showed me a hospital bed in a hospital, right? And in this room was an evil altar that was dedicated to an evil frontman. So there was a evil, how do you say it? Person in that profession from the dark side is the best way I can put it. So when they go through these places, my nose is itching like crazy. When they go through these places, you know, just like you're an altar of God, they're an altar for the enemy. So they go in and they also pray and they also touch and do things to these whatever it is, whether it's a desk, whether it's a phone, whether it's a hospital bed, whatever it is. Okay. So these things that they dedicate and these things that they touch become evil altars. Okay. So that particular bed is an evil altar, and only he's showing me demonic seers video, so I'm connecting the dots for that for you guys too. So look at demonic seers, so you guys see it the way they see it. So the demonic seers, or those in the darkness, see that this bed has been dedicated to an evil altar in the hospital room. I gotta literally break it down because it's hard, because he's literally giving me the whole package, and I gotta break it down so you guys understand. So they know that this particular bed, let's just say in room C, Charlie, is evil. So they will move a person from bed A to bed C, and they already know that the chances of survival is less because of that. I hope that makes sense. So this is because this has been an evil altar, and there has been a pattern of people not making it in that particular bed. Okay. And he's also showing me the light nurses who are coming in and are literally praying over those rooms, but they keep getting distracted by the evil ones so that they won't. Okay, so you got to understand this is a part of this war, so to speak. Spiritual warfare is what he's saying. Okay, so next he showed me, which was odd, he showed me next Masonic lodges as an altar in the basement, which I knew about. Then he showed me a few church basements, which I knew about too. And then he showed me military basic training barracks. I did not know about this. He showed me where these evil portals have been opened up everywhere. Okay, because you got to remember, just like any place like hotels, where you have barracks, where you have hospital rooms, where you have multiple souls coming through, depending on the altar of the person that was in the person and the person there, I bind you to by the blood of the Lamb, that certain portals have been opened. Okay, so then that's what he showed me. He showed me where these evil portals have been opened up everywhere. He then brought me back to the highway. He brought me to a, okay, so he said explain. He brought me back, he brought my vision and my memory back to a highway situation that had recently happened to me. So I was driving down the highway, and there was a, I don't know, for lack of a better word, they're like barred sewer gates, right? And I was literally doing 55 on the highway. And I'm like, I heard the Holy Spirit, clear as day. He was trying to show me something, and I missed it. It was the, okay, so you said explain. So I'm driving down the road, but this particular day, and I drive down this road all the time. Let's just say it's I-75, I-95, right? And this particular day, for some reason, there was traffic. Now, I've driven down this road tens of thousands of times, right? And I heard the Holy Spirit say, clear as day, look, daughter. And he's been doing this in particular on highways recently. We're going to get into this. This is deep, y'all. And I was like, yeah, Dad. And it's, I don't know, it's like there are bars. Like that. That's the only way I can explain it. And it's a sewer grate, but it's a barred sewer grate. And in this one particular spot, it was picked up, and it was off of the indentation of the concrete. And I thought that was weird, right? So I'm still driving down the highway doing 55, and I see another one, the same thing has happened. And it's like, that's weird. We'll get into it. So Holy Spirit said, daughter, look. And there was nothing on this highway except for concrete barriers and I mean miles and miles of highway. Okay, so if you were out there, nobody would hear you, is what I'm going to say. And I'm going to leave this example because they interconnect. So he had showed me this example after this previous example I'm going to get into. And I was just like, it connected the dots. So same thing. This has been happening frequently to me. And I'm like, Lord, what are you trying to show me? So the Holy Spirit will sometimes do that with me. He'll build and to, because like, to try to get the concept of the movie The Matrix, you're going to have to get several concepts. It's not just one concept in the movie. It's multiple layered concepts. Thank you, Holy Spirit, because I couldn't explain it. It's multiple layered concepts. So this is the same thing. So he'll build to make me understand because he knows where I am and what I understand, and he's trying to get something to me. Sometimes he'll do that. So this had happened gosh, this is about 3 weeks ago. And same thing. I'm driving down a highway. This is not the same highway. I'm doing 55. All concrete barriers again. And I heard the Holy Spirit say, look to your left, daughter. Now, which is interesting because even in dreams, the left is the enemy side. None of these are on the right. And I saw, anybody else may have blew it off, but because the Holy Spirit told me to pay attention, I'm like, okay, my eyes are itching too, my allergies. And I looked, and again, remember, I'm doing 55 down the highway, so it's not like I'm normally looking to the left down a highway when you're speeding that, well, you're doing the speed limit. So I'm like, okay, Dad, what are you trying to show me? So it was two girls' bikes. I want to say one was pink and one was purple. Now, for miles, there had been nothing there. I'm not joking. There's nothing there for miles. And there's a pink and a purple bike. And the purple bike is the older girl's bike. And I want to say she was about between 8 and 9. And he's telling me now. And the younger pink bike was a 5-year-old girl. These were perfect, pristine bikes. There's nothing wrong with them. They're in the middle of the highway, next to the concrete barrier. And I'm like, that's odd, right? And the Holy Spirit's like, mm-hmm. And I'm driving, and I only drive probably, I want to say, less than a quarter of a mile off the road. God, this is hard. And I saw a trash bag. And it's a clear trash bag, which is odd. It's a clear trash bag. It's like semi-colored, but it's clearer. And I saw like tons of candy in this bag. And snack food. And Holy Spirit's like, look. And I'm like, that's weird after that, right? Holy Spirit's like, yep. Only a few more feet, probably like 400 or 500 more feet up the road. I'd never seen these before. These blue, huge water jugs. It's like water jugs, but they're not. It's like they're squarer, and these water jugs they were turned on the side, so they had been emptied, and you could literally drink out of them for days. And I saw one. I was just like, look. Then I saw another. So there's probably like 9 of these water jugs, maybe 9 to 12. And they're in different positions on the highway prior to these bikes. And that's when the Holy Spirit said, it is what you think it is. And it is what you think it is. And I was like, oh my gosh, Lord, no. It was then he took my vision and he showed me there was a white van that pulled up. The bikes fit in the white van. And the candy and stuff was for the kids. And the water jugs were for the kids so they wouldn't have to stop for days. And I was bothered for that. That's why it took me long to make this video, guys. I was bothered by that for days. And of course I prayed. So God was showing me other things on the highway too. Like other signs, and I would see people walking on the highway in certain areas. I don't have permission here where to say it is. And there were clear signs of certain things. I don't have permission to say yet. So let's go back to what he showed me. So first he had shown me the bikes and those things. So back to these crates. So I'm driving down the highway in 55 and he's like, hey daughter. That was such crazy, guys. Look. I'm like, okay, Lord, what are you trying to show me now? Partially not wanting to see it. And he said, look. And it's unusual to have a grate. It was like somebody took the grate and lifted it up and put it slightly to the side. Then one, it was completely taken off. And it's odd because whoever did it knew that that particular grate could come up, which is also tying into some of the signs I'm seeing lately. Um, so, I'm like, Dad, that's odd. Now, under normal circumstances, most people driving 55 on this highway, they will not know. Um, you're not going to hear anything on the highway. You're not going to see anything on the highway. It's hard, guys. So, um, this particular day, I got stopped because there was traffic, and there was a lot of traffic. And I was stopped by these gates that were lifted up. I can't make this up, guys. And I heard what sounded to be like human voices, like kids, underneath these. I don't know if it's kids, but I know it was people saying, it was like they were yelling. Now I couldn't tell if it was on the other side of the barrier. Holy Spirit said, no, you know. I felt like it was underneath, guys. I felt like it was underneath. Just like in the hotel, I felt like it was underneath. And on the middle of the highway, no one would hear you. Please pray, please pray, please pray, please pray. And these signs were hidden in plain sight. Some of the things that God is showing me. Kind of like how Masonic and Eastern Star signs are hidden in plain sight, even in government buildings and government altars. What I heard the Holy Spirit say right then too was, nobody will find them. And what he was highlighting to me was the infrastructure of things. How things are hidden in plain sight. Even at your local churches and local food pantries and churches, how I've seen clearly Masons are there, and it makes sense. And the Lord said, do not eat from Jezebel's table. And that makes sense. I'm trying to connect the dots the best way I can for you guys. The Holy Spirit's going to have to reveal. He's revealing, I'm sure. And he said, I'm already revealing through your video, daughter. Just say what I told you to say. That's your confirmation. You already know. Oh, goodness. He said, these are hidden in government monuments, satanic geometry, satanic symbols are hidden in plain sight, but you can only see them if your spiritual eyes are wide open. He said, this is why the enemy has blinded the eyes of the non-believer, so he can hide things in plain sight, and the non-believer won't believe. Okay, this is the hard part. This is where we're getting into ears of flesh and acres of blood. Okay, so it was probably about 2 days ago. He took my vision and he showed me very clearly this woman, and she had on her head, I don't know what they're called, but it's like Maleficent, like the horns on her head in the movie. She had like a demonic headdress. I guess that's the best way you can put it. And she had, I saw a vision of something. So she had this demonic headdress on her head. She was wearing like this black cape, but there was something underneath. And all I could see was the silver demonic jewelry she had on. The demonic symbols. And she was holding like a silver chalice that had demonic symbols on it. Like it was like a, thank you, Holy Spirit. It's like a silver demonic cup. A chalice is what these things say, chalice. Um, it's like vines were growing up it, is what I could see. But they were engraved in the cup. And I heard the Holy Spirit say, demonic symbols on the cup, and this is what God said. He said it was a sacred ceremonial cup. He said this was only used on certain occasions, and she was dressed in all black, and she had ceremonial jewelry underneath. You could see it, and he kept showing me her profession. So, and this is just, he was using it as a symbol. So I don't want you to think that this is an all-encompassing symbol, but he was using it as a symbol. So I saw her, and she was literally drinking out of this chalice, but she was drinking the blood. Just blood of people. And then it was kind of like her profession warped into what she was doing. So it's like I saw, oh, thank you, Holy Spirit. It's like I saw the projected image over her actual profession in real life. In her profession in real life, she was an evil judge. But he's literally warping it over any profession. So it's just something that he used as an example. Okay, so, and then he took me to this so that I understand and know, and he wants you to know that this happens in different professions too, but he used this one as this particular profession as a example here. So he specifically took me to a video the other night, which if the Holy Spirit gives me permission, I'll link the video down here. I don't, because it's dealing with the J Spirit, I really don't want to, but if he tells me to, I will. And he broke down everything that he was showing me. Like, Hollywood prophesizes, and they literally are showing you exactly what they're doing, because that's kind of, it's consent, basically, is what he's saying. So, and in this video, yeah, he said I had permission. Okay, so the video was, and I cover their eyes by the blood of the Lamb, Holy Spirit. He said exposure has to happen, daughter, so you have to tell this part. So the video was Doja Cat, and it's a song called Rules, and it deals with the J Spirit. So I don't suggest you watch it unless the Holy Spirit leads you to watch it. But I'm going to break down what happened in the video. Basically, she was showing how things happen and how at that level they play by different rules. I'm going to put it that way. And how exchanges happen. It's even more deep. So, he said explain, daughter. Okay, so I'm going to suggest a link down here. It's talking about Masons in the church. And there's a part on there that says within the system, when they pledge oaths to these different secret societies, if anything happens, oh, he's talking to me about something else now. Golly, Lord, can I have a chaser, please? This is hard. When they're brought in front of courts or judges or things like that, if, and I'm only using these as an example, if the judge is a Mason or Eastern Star, the person gives a signal and the person gets off. But that's not the end of the story. That's the only part that the guy revealed in the video. The Holy Spirit took me further to show me exactly what happens. So, in the Bible it says, an eye for an eye and an ear for an ear, and that's true. It's a literal weight, like scale weight is what he's showing me. So if a if a guilty man goes free, then an innocent man's blood is taken for exchange for it. And they have to have access to those people in order for the exchange to happen. I hope you're tying in from the beginning of this video what I'm talking about with cancer treatment centers and entry points of professions and everything. And what he said was subversion of justice. And I heard him just say, but I am a just God. Then Holy Spirit started talking to me about backdoor entry points, through which back doors, like he showed me an old castle, like a secret doorway used, secret doorways, unused doorways. And he's dishing out deep there, y'all. So like, I don't know if you've ever seen like the secret entry doorways. Okay, he said for a lot of us here in America, like the Underground Railroad. Thank you, Holy Spirit. This is gonna be a long video, y'all. So it would look like a wall, but it was a false wall where they could hide things. And these are secret entry points and secret entryways. Okay, so he said a lot of these are used, these secret back doors and entry points. And thank you, Holy Spirit. He's saying prayer needs to be strategically placed and targeted towards these things for the exposure to come fully out. Okay. Whew. And then he took me, so these are experiences that I've had too, guys. So as you see, my nose is itching like crazy. He drove the point home because I had experienced this personally in here, Covington, Georgia. So one day, my son and I had gone to um, an art store. Um, there was an art store on the square. We just happened to show up on a Friday, and during that Friday, the artists were in the back, and we had gone in the art store, just meandering around the square for the first time, really enjoying it and all that kind of stuff. And the artists were in the back, and we went and talked to some of the artists, and they were painting and all that kind of stuff. So I'm asking about their art and stuff like that because I love that kind of stuff. And one of the people, he doesn't give me permission to say, that was there, started telling the story of the square. So what they said was this, um, which was really interesting and I didn't know. So anybody that doesn't know the local area, so Covington, Georgia is actually known for Vampire Diaries. And very interestingly, y'all got to put this together spiritually, a lot of the stuff on the square has burned down. Now this, at this point in time when I'm going there, the only thing that had burned down was Mystic Grow, which is used in the Vampire Diaries. So sorry, I got the air blowing on me because we don't, the air conditioning's still out. And at this point, that was the only thing that burned down. And they had rebuilt it. So I'm asking this gentleman, and he's saying, interestingly, he just brings up, he says, there are secret tunnels underneath Covington Square. I said, what? He said, yeah. He says, there's these back doorways. He says, we know the entry points. He knew a person, that's all I can say, had an entry point doorway to one of them, and some of the areas that had collapsed. That's key. I hope you catch that in the spiritual room. And he says it's under the entire square. Funny, Hollywood films a lot here. Okay. So let's keep going. Fast forward. I didn't know this. I was strategically led somewhere else, and I met a really awesome guy, family of God, and I met the husband. And he was telling me how this church was on the square. It's like not in like a short period of time. This church was on the square, and this church was operating in the demonic. And he had literally, and I'll try to link his Facebook down here too. He had literally warned them against their sins, and the church had burned down in judgment. Okay. Fast forward. It was a couple months later that, and the church was on the square. So the entire square was burned down, including that art store, no longer there. I can't make this up, guys. And I drove by the square the other day, and it was like they had excavated one of the buildings. Like it literally, it's excavated. It's taken down to the dirt. The building is no longer there. I wish I had a picture. If God takes me by there, I'll get a picture and show you. And that just showed up yesterday. God was highlighting how He wanted me to bring this up. And I'm like, wow, God. But these tunnels and these backdoor entry points are what they're using. I'm going to say that. All this is tying in. I know it seems like it's not. It is. Who's going to get it is going to get it for what they need. So they're using these backdoor entry points and secret passages and secret ways to get into certain places. This is also having to do with computer systems. It's also having to do with, and he wants me to say this too, please watermark your identification. The enemy's going to use backdoor ways to get access to information. So when you're sending to certain people, they're not asking for all right information. They're using backdoor entry points to systems. And he just showed me an IT person like granting access. He said they've been granted access codes. I don't know what that means, but they've been granted access codes to backdoor entry points in order to accomplish their agenda. Thank you, Holy Spirit, come through. Now, this is going back to the square. I need you to see this for what it is, because we're talking about layered altars is really what we're talking about. So remember how we started out, how there may be a hospital bed, and that's the one that they know where anyone that's laid in that bed does not survive. It's sort of the same thing. So on Covington Square is a prime example. There's a secret passageway. That church layered its altar and the layer of sin on top of what has already been an altar. And it was burned down. Hollywood records there frequently, and it's a layered altar there too. Why do you think that is? Remember, God's always looking deeper than what we can see, and I'm sure a lot of people don't know those tunnels are there. But I got in my spirit and I sensed that those tunnels were never used for good. Like I sensed that on the highway people went in and they were never seen again. Oh, this is hard, guys. What was interesting was strategically God had arranged for me to meet, and he always does, different people. Some of these were sex trafficking victims that has survived. I hope I can say that. And had told me their stories, as well as human trafficking victims. And what was interesting, and this is where the interconnection is that no one's putting together, and I saw this. They had survived and are back in society, is all I can say. Is in one instance, they had very, very high spiritual abilities. That is a common theme and common thread. There's a reason for that. And the siphoning of energy and using of energy is what the Holy Spirit is saying to say. Also, of pure and innocent souls is also what Holy Spirit's saying. On the other end, it goes into the depravity of things, of the enemy and rituals, demonic rituals. And these people believe in the system more than justice because they run the system from back doors. The system answers to them because it is subverted justice and pure justice. An innocent soul has to be exchanged when a guilty soul is let go. So when the secret hand signal is given the souls have to be exchanged. And that means they have to have souls lined up to take. And some of you and us are those souls. This is where the framing of people happens. He then showed me the basement of a Masonic lodge where the pack was taken. Okay, so this is key, because he just honed it in on a story that just popped up in my feed. Y'all, this is hard. He showed me the basement of a Masonic lodge, and there was a pack taken the night before with this guy. The pack was sealed in darkness the night before. And the next morning, because the pack was exchanged, the person that was to be exchanged in the pack. Okay, so he said explain. So person A is a Mason. Person B is his friend. Okay. Person A went to the lodge the night before and exchanged his sickness for person B. And when the exchange happened in the lodge that night, the next morning the person B woke up sick instead of person A, because rightfully so, person A was supposed to get the sickness. So person A and B are really good friends, because person B has an innocent heart, and because person A is loyal to person B, seemingly on the outside they're friends. No, baby, I'm getting into it. So when the pack was exchanged the next day, person B wakes up sick. And person A knows the situation and why, because he called the demons that night into the pack. And what he showed me was, this had actually happened to me. He uses me like this. He was showing me as the example, and then he was like, no, daughter, you've seen this. And I'm like, where have I seen this, Lord? I don't remember seeing this. I did. He took me, and it went right over my head. So there was a girl, and she was pregnant by a Mason, and she had high spiritual abilities, and she had gone to her boyfriend's house, and she couldn't reach him all night. And the reason why she couldn't reach him all night is because he was doing the pact. So the next morning, he had gone to the hospital with person B, his friend. And that's what he told her. He did. He was at the hospital to ensure that the pact went through, and the friend died. I can't literally sugarcoat none of this stuff. So unbeknownst to the friend, he's thinking this is a loyal friend, and they were thicker than anything. No, they're not. So the friend had exchanged him on an altar, and I saw 7 demons make the agreement with the Mason. They literally spoke to him. He agreed. The Mason was at his friend's side the next day when it happened, and he was shot the next day and taken to the hospital. And in the hospital, the very enemy that placed him there was by his side, the loyal friend. Once the guy passed, the sins of the dude could be passed on to the innocent one. Heard God say something like, it's a Chris Brown song where they're not loyal. And I thought it was so odd. I don't want to say it because I'm going to throw up all kinds of YouTube algorithms if I do. I was like, Lord, what do you mean? And he was like, that's what it is. They're not loyal. They're loyal to the pact and what they want. And I heard him just say cutthroat. This is cutthroat stuff. And he said everything was on the table to be sacrificed. Friends, family, children, nothing was sacred because they did not love God. He then said an outward form of godliness but denying the power therein. And I can literally hear that because something looks good on paper, like going to church, but and his heart is far removed, and only God knows the heart. These are, it's everywhere he's showing me. These are pastors. They're in every profession. And these are the people that you think are loyal friends. And I heard like a hard snicker because they think they are getting away with it. Oh my gosh. What was I gonna say that too? They're playing in your face. They're literally playing in your face and you just don't know it. Playing in your face. It's blatant now, guys. They're playing in your face. That's all I can say because this is rough as heck, guys. That's where I gotta leave this video. You gotta sit with the Holy Spirit. He's gonna give more revelation. But the key to this video is they're not loyal. And it's you can't be loyal to anything but God at this point. Please, for goodness sake, you're gonna see more and more come out in the news of these odd situations happening. One that he just showed me where a guy was at a barbecue and literally he has something to do with, and he's from Atlanta, and he has something to do with his friend being taken out. He was eating barbecue, and they covered it up with a fireworks sound. And God had revealed that to me many years ago, that they do that. 4th of July is a main day. So y'all need to sit with the Holy Spirit, get more revelations, and give me more revelation. But there's a reason for the separation. There's a clear reason. Please, please heed the warning. I'm telling you, please heed the warning. By the blood of the Lamb, please heed the warning. That's it. I'll talk to you later, guys. Bye.